Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I know I'm a little bit early. I decided to go a bit early. I have some things I would like to discuss with some of you guys if you are keen on discussing so. Also, let's try and share this with everybody. The SABC live chat is going. I'm actually going to type in it right now. Come join my stream. It will be better and more entertaining as I mock the Presidente. I made a few spelling mistakes there. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Those of you that didn't, I hope you guys are doing well today on this fine, what's it, Tuesday? It's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, it's Tuesday. So as you can see, I have fixed because, okay, so people who know that if I stream between the hours of pretty much 4 till about 7:38, this whole room is pink. I fixed it. As you can see, I am my natural self now. Anyway, so I am going to go straight to the speech as soon as Cyril begins, which will only be at 8 o'clock. So those of you that are tuning in, I will get to that. I thought that I would start early so we could have a chat because I'm hearing rumors about a possible cigarette ban. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, fake news, that's fake news. Now I'm only realizing that my mic is over here. So here we go. Is that better? Sorry. But everybody realizing or might say, oh, that's fake news. That's fake news. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that this is 100% going to happen. I am saying there are rumors. People are talking. People are saying. I have two sources who I will not mention. But those of you who really know me and been watching this channel probably know who they are. And they've been keeping me up to date with the fight against the cigarette ban. There are some interesting facts about the cigarette ban that I will be letting you guys know about in just a moment. And we'll be discussing this, and we'll be discussing some other things that we'll just debate, or not debate, but we'll discuss basically what we think is going to happen. And I'll show you guys an article in a moment, which I think predicts what tonight is going to be all about. So before we get into that, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. I do a lot of things on this channel, have a lot of fun, but at the same time, there are some serious conversations, one of which is going to happen tomorrow. I'm just looking for, there it is. I don't know if Yanni is in the chats. If he is, he can drop a link, or any of my mods that are in the link and might be able to quickly just drop the link to this show tomorrow evening. It's Tech Tuesday is back, and I'm going to be chatting with Yanni, who is a tech whiz. We're going to be talking about WhatsApp. Everybody's talking about WhatsApp, the privacy policy. What is going on? Should we abandon WhatsApp? Should we not? Do we go into Telegram? What is going on? Signal. Who has Signal? No. Who has the app Signal, not actual Signal on the phone? It gets very confusing. I think Signal is probably the worst freaking name for an app you could ever give an app. Like, oh, you have Signal? Yeah, I have Signal. Okay, cool. What's your number? Or what's your username? Telcom? It's ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't downloaded Signal yet. I don't know if it's good or not, but we will be discussing this, and we'll be discussing other things tomorrow evening. So please go check it out, or please set a reminder tomorrow evening live here on this channel. I'll be discussing with a tech whiz what this whole thing is all about. He'll be, Yanni has a bit of knowledge on this topic, so he'll be divulging some of his expertise, if I can put it that way, or knowledge, and letting us know what is up. Should we be abandoning WhatsApp or not? So please check that out tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, set a reminder. Then the other thing, ladies and gentlemen, which you will find a link in the description below, I did a video, ANC Exposed. Go check it out. Released yesterday. All right. I think you'll find some interesting things on this video. Please share it far and wide. The video was made, and there's facts in there, there's articles in the description. I've linked everything that I saw in the description under that video. If you want to go read on some of the sources yourself, you're more than welcome to do so. I made this video in the hopes that we'll get some South Africans to wake up and see what is happening in South Africa right under their noses. And having said that, ladies and gentlemen, while you're checking that out, please go check out Rebel, www.rebelstoreza.com. Got the URL correct this time. Please go check that out. It's some pretty awesome shirts. The official launch was today. We're shipping nationwide, ladies and gentlemen, so please go check it out. All right, now that that is done, let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. All right, because we got Yanni's here. Okay, Francie, I haven't seen your name before. So thank you for joining. I will be spilling the beans in just a moment. I can smoke a signal. Okay, well, I don't. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. I need to talk to you about my rebel order. Okay, we can talk about it. Just send me a WhatsApp. No, sorry, send me a Telegram. Is that a thing? Is that what we say now? Instead of saying send me a WhatsApp, send me a Telegram. I'm no longer on WhatsApp, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. All right. And in case, you know what, I might as well mention it now. If you are on Telegram, you can look for The Joe Show. Link is in the description. Join the channel on Telegram. It's not a group, it's a channel. Very big difference. So please go check that out. You get notifications of all the upcoming videos and the ones that have been uploaded. So yeah, let's check that out. And also, please, guys, become a member. It means so much to me. If you become a member, you support this channel, you support me. I am a stand-up comedian that is at the moment in limbo due to the lockdown. This is all I have. YouTube is all I have. So if you really want to support me, please go give me a membership. Sorry, become a member. And yeah, I've got a lot, like I said, I got a lot of content. If you're new to this channel, please go check it out. I think you'll find stuff that you will like, maybe some of the stuff you won't like, but you can watch what you like. And yeah, and there is some stand-up comedy on my channel, my stand-up comedy on my channel. Anyway, all right, now that that is done, let me get into what, thank you, Yanni, you're a busy man today. All right, so let me get into what I was told about the cigarette ban. For those of you who, yeah, basically I am Eleutheria. Thank you for rubbing it in. All right, so I'm kidding. So, which is actually funny. That reminds me of a story. Okay, wait. Let me talk about the cigarette ban. Eleutheria, remind me to get back to this. All right, so cigarette ban. Okay, so I know a few people that are involved with the fight against the cigarette ban. So they've been keeping me updated. And when the story broke that the government has appealed the cigarette ban again, actually one of the lawyers, I saw them tweet it, and I retweeted it. And then I got contacted, not by the lawyer, someone else completely who's also involved in the fight. I got contacted by an individual who told me basically, now, if this individual, they usually watch my show as well. If you're watching, please, if I say something incorrect and you happen to be watching now, please send me a Telegram. Do not comment in the live chats. I don't want people to know who you are. Unless you're okay with divulging your identity, that's up to you. But if I say anything incorrect now, please correct me by sending me a Telegram. I was informed earlier that you would be watching. So yeah, just saying, again, won't mention your name. But this is what I understood. When the government basically asked for an appeal, it rendered the judgment suspended, basically. So what this means is that until the whoever it is that decides, okay, cool, there is grounds for an appeal here, we're going to appeal it, and it means it goes to court. Up until so, yeah, that's basically what happens now. Is that people, or there's someone in the courts has to decide, like, okay, cool, well, there's grounds for an appeal here, so we're going to take it to court, or there isn't grounds for appeal here, and the ruling stays. So it's in limbo, basically. It's suspended. It means I was told that literally at the time, 2-3 weeks ago, when the appeal was made, that if the government wanted to, the next day, ban the cigarettes, they could have, basically. That's how the law works. So because it's an appeal, the judgment's basically suspended until it's resolved, basically. That's my understanding. If I am incorrect, to the person who's watching, please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't word it correctly, but that's basically what I understand. And yeah, so I got some words today, or some information that, people are saying the beehive is buzzing, if you will, and people are saying, hey, stock up. There's some interesting rumors going around. And that's what they are at the moment, rumors. Nobody has 100% concrete evidence. There is one source of mine. I didn't see the evidence. They say they have the evidence. I didn't see it, so I can't verify. But yeah, I don't know. But I put a post out earlier today saying there's rumors about this. There's a possible cigarette ban again. Please go stock up. And the only reason why I said that was so that if it does happen, at least some people have stock. If it doesn't happen, well, then you have cigarettes. Like, you're only at a loss if you didn't buy. It hurts no one to be safe rather than sorry. So yeah, Bradley saying, I thought the government had already been given grounds to appeal. That could be possible. I'm going to be honest, I don't know yet if they've been given the grounds for appeal. If they have, then that's even worse, because now really, until they go to court, until it's done again, like, judgment is made again, they can do it anytime. It's suspended. So that's, basically the moment they appealed it, the judgment was suspended and they can do whatever they want. I don't know if that's a loophole in the law, but yeah, that's the situation, which is something else I wanted to speak about. A lot of people message me personally and ask, like, Joe, what do you think is happening? What do you think are we going to go into lockdown level 4 now? It's going to be lockdown level 5. And a lot of people saying, yeah, we can't go back into lockdown level 5 because it's been ruled unconstitutional, but look at what they're doing with the cigarette ban. Look, regardless if the cigarette ban happens tonight or not, that is pretty much, as my understanding, how the law works. So if they wanted to, next week they could do it. The week after, yeah. So what I think is happening at the moment is, I think they're renaming some of the stuff. So they're renaming, like, I don't know, I saw an article last night, as a matter of fact, which was probably released way earlier than that, but this was a bit concerning for me, because, okay, so the article last night, the title was meeting to decide, okay, you guys can't see it, sorry. Meetings to decide on lockdown restrictions for South Africa, Ramaphosa, right? So this was earlier yesterday, when the media got word that they were going to go, or that the NCC was going to have a meeting. So in this article, which I found a bit concerning, it says the country, so basically, Sele and NDZ have recommended the country move to virus alert level 4 for 30 days. Virus alert level 4 for 30 days. Hello, Herman. How are you? Good. Thank you for joining. 15 minutes apparently until the president speaks. I will switch over as soon as I see movement on that side. Having said that, yeah, so it's no longer lockdown. It's virus alert level 4. Now, I don't know if that's been something that the media has been using for some time now, but yesterday was the first time I saw it, which alarms me. Because the moment you start changing, and I warned you, I did mention this before on my YouTube channel, maybe 3-4 months ago. The moment you start, I predicted that they might change the name, that they might say, it's not lockdown anymore, it's something else. I didn't know, and here it is, virus alert level 4. And I thought maybe this was just, a thing, or maybe we're getting into this now, like in that they're changing it to lockdown alert level, whatever, virus alert levels. But then there's a paragraph. It says, the government announced on the 28th of December it was moving the country into virus alert level 3 from level 1. So they're already trying to redefine and rename, rather, the lockdown. Now, ask yourself, why would they be trying to do this? And I'm willing to bet it has something to do with the court cases. They're just going to keep on renaming and dancing around the law, basically, finding these loopholes so that they can keep on implementing what they want to implement, which is absolute, power destruction, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that was very concerning to me that they're trying to rename the lockdown. Even the article here says, analysts have noted that government has subsequently deviated from the regulations put in place. So it's difficult to determine what any level of lockdown would not entail, with the level system more a signal of the severity of infection in the country. So there you go. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. They renamed things. So this is what I think is going to happen. Everybody's worried about lockdown level 4. I think we are going to be moved into lockdown level 4, but it's not going to be called lockdown level 4. I think this alert virus level 3, whatever crap, is lockdown level 4 as we used to know it. So yeah, that's what I think is happening. I think that we're being eased into a harsher lockdown. So expect restrictions today, further restrictions. I'm going to get into that article just now. And expect more restrictions coming, especially as we head back into winter. That's when they're really going to start holding us down. I don't think we're going to go into complete level 4 just yet. I don't think that. I could be wrong. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's just going to be 1 or 2, 3 little extra restrictions. Level 4 standard of lockdown is only going to come in the next month or 2. So having said that, also, guys, please don't forget to super chat. Be greatly appreciated. I spend a lot of my time on YouTube, and you get this for free. So it's up to you. You can either become a member or you can donate a super chat. Any amount would be greatly appreciated. I know everyone's stripped for cash right now. I know. So really, anything you can afford is greatly appreciated. Thank you. You'd be helping me out a lot too as well. I also need to pay rent at the end of the month. Okay, so yeah, it's not really a joke. So all right, so let's see here. Let me show you the article that I think pretty much shares with us what is going to happen. Just over 10 minutes, so I'm going to make this quick. This was released earlier today. Current lockdown restrictions. So current lockdown restrictions are expected to continue, as I predicted when the president addressed this last time. I knew that 2 weeks wasn't going to be enough. I knew that he was going to extend the lockdown. This was still at the time when they weren't sure that he was going to address this tonight. Obviously, he is now. All right, so it's talking about the alcohol. That's still going to be banned. So all of you that stocked up on alcohol, well done. Strategy, inclusive national enables response, blah, blah, blah. So he's probably going to talk a lot of garbage at the beginning. Stuff we already know. The curfew will remain in place and that restrictions on gatherings would continue. So there we go. So there we go. Curfew is going to stay. Gatherings, we might get more intense restrictions or they'll stay the same. Okay, so insiders said Ramaphosa could make an announcement on the reopening of schools, a huge cause for concern because the new variant of COVID-19 in South Africa is said to be affecting children. So, probably going to talk about schools. That's probably what's going to happen. No mention of cigarettes. So, which again, I mentioned the cigarettes only because of some of the sources that reach out to me. I don't know if it's really happening. They're not even sure, but they said, hey, maybe we should stock up just in case because the beehive is buzzing. And that's basically it. So I don't see much about travel. I don't know if travel is going to be restricted, banned, whatever you call it, just domestic, just for work. I don't know. It doesn't really say here. It doesn't really say much except for basically lockdown level 3 is going to continue and schools. So those are the 4 topics or 2 topics I expect to hear from today or to hear Ramaphosa talk about. So we shall see. So yeah, as we wait, we've got about, it says here on this side, 7 minutes. So I'm going to share that screen so you guys can see for yourself when the president goes live. There we go. And again, ladies and gentlemen, please go into SABC's YouTube channel. Tell people in the chats right now, like, look at this. Arabic and everything. Wow. Okay, cool. So let's tell them, hey, come join my stream. It is a lot more fun. I don't know. I'm not very good at marketing myself here. So yeah, but the chats are going crazy again. We are Zaga. What is Zaga? Oh man, someone saying I love you, just proclaiming their love. I'm guessing to Cyril. That's kind of sad. Cyril is 15 minutes late. We are legally allowed to run the country. Some people have some funny comments in this thing. All right. So let's see what some of you are saying in the chats. Level new state readiness level 3.9.321.7 sub A section 234. Man, that's funny. Cool. So you guys are still with me. Yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think? Wait a second. I saw Yanni answered my question. Zaga is ZA Gaming Alliance. Really? Okay. Interesting. Zaga. I feel like it's, what's that movie where they have this thing? What isn't that Dude, Where's My Car? What's they go, yeah, like they do Zay. I want to Zaga. It's not Zaga though. It's something else. Flip, man. Okay. Going to postpone elections. That's intense. I don't think that's going to happen, but we could see a repeat of what happened in the USA happening in South Africa. Yeah. Okay, I think I'm over this. I'm sorry. Yeah. Does nobody know Zoltan? Thank you, T-Man. Thank you, Zoltan. Do you remember that? Yeah, Dude, Where's My Car? Zoltan. Okay, that was a good movie. All right. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, oh, well, look who has joined us. Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa just came to say hi quick. I also have a live stream just now. Thank you so much for the 70 Rand Super Chat, Cyril Ramaphosa. It's good to see you. And for those of you who don't know, Cyril Ramaphosa was with me. He helped me make a video. For those of you who are just tuning in right now, link is in the description. You can go check it out. It is ANC Exposed. Please go check it out. I think there's some interesting information in that video that will hopefully help awaken some South Africans to what is going on in South Africa. And don't forget, tomorrow I am chatting with Yanni Vandervalt as well. He's going to be on this channel. We're going to have our Tech Tuesday is back, and we're going to be talking about WhatsApp policy, the new WhatsApp policy. What's going on? What's the alternatives? Is it should we be scared? Should we be hopping onto other platforms? Yeah, we'll be discussing all that tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Please come check it out. So there we go. Share it with your friends and family. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to please go check out Rebel, www.rebelstoreza.com. Please go check it out. A lot of cool shirts. We've officially launched, so we'll be shipping nationwide starting from today, which means those of you that have pre-ordered, you will get your shipments probably in the next 2 weeks. So be excited. Be very excited. All right, cool. So going back to the chats, I think, thank you, Yanni, for sharing the link. Yes, I forgot what it was. I don't remember. You said something. It made me think of something, and now I can't remember what. Yeah, can't remember. Yeah, there you go, Yanni. Link is also in the description, guys. Please go check it out. Please share it. That's the most important. Please share it. Please, 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 please share it. If you agree with the video, if you like the video, please share it. Everywhere. Doesn't matter. Everywhere. Just share it, please. Cool. Alrighty then. I think according to SABC, there is 1 minute 41 seconds until the president comes. Do we think he's gonna be on time? Remember, ladies and gentlemen, please go check out go to SABC and tell them to join the stream. Join Joe Emilio's stream. Please. Being polite. Maybe that will cause people to come over and check out the stream. We'll see. All right. So yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we await Cyril to address us. Anybody else have any other thoughts on what is expected today? There's a part of me that thinks there is going to be a bit of a nothing burger. Like, if I'm honest, like, I do think that we're not going to be surprised, if I can put it that way. Thank you, Robin. Thank you very much for doing so. She says she shared the video on Facebook and WhatsApp. It was a good analysis. Thank you so much, Robin. It really means a lot to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Cool. All right. So, what? We're just waiting, guys. We're waiting. Do we think he's going to be on time? Got 1 minute. Moment he's on, I will switch. Well, I'll put my mic off, and then you guys can listen in. And I might comment every now and again, if I'm honest. Like, I might. We'll see. From what I can tell, it looks like it's real. They just photoshopped the color. So, yeah. They photoshopped the color like they did with his tie. Looks real to me. Scroll down a bit. What are the likes versus dislikes? Let's see. 74 likes and 35. Oh shit, that jumped up quick. 90. That just jumped. 90 likes and 35 dislikes. The birthday one was funny though. The birthday ANC speech, that was so funny. There was like 200 odd dislikes to like a very low amount of likes. It was insane, and I think it got worse after the speech. Yeah. All right, so we're just waiting on Cyril. Any moment now. It seems like he is officially 1 minute late. There has been times when he's joined 5 minutes afterwards. We shall see. We shall see. So for those of you who don't know, I also have some friends who are going to join me on this stream. You'll see a bit later. I hope they will entertain you. For those of you who joined in the last stream that I did of the president, you might know what I'm talking about. You might know these friends that have started to join me on these streams and poke a bit of fun. But yeah, let's see what happens. Once again, guys, go to this stream and tell people to join. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe and please go check out ANC Exposed. I think I exposed them quite well. And as Robin says, I've already gotten such a great review from Robin. She says it was a good analysis. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so nice of you. All right. And we wait. Sometimes I like reading these comments, you know. And everyone's like, he's late, he's late, he's late, he's late again. Oh my word, he's late again. So many different people, you know. Like you see someone saying, bring Zuma back. Oh, man, that is funny. How bad is it in this country that some people want Zuma back? Wow. Interesting. Sideliner saying, expect mostly threats. Yeah. Yeah, I think I would tend to agree. I think schools, he's going to say something about the schools. He's just going to say that lockdown level 3 will continue. Maybe restrictions on travel, maybe. But yeah, I think I have this gut feeling not much is going to be said. I know cigarette ban rumor about that coming back. We'll see if that is true. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Someone posting squirrels. We all know what that means. Yeah, alcohol ban will definitely be extended. That's for sure. Synchronized saying, I like the expropriate this shirt on the Rebel Store. Pretty cool. Well, then buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it. Yeah, so please go check out that store. Donwin Sol, good to see you here with me, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while. Level 4 will be made, but amended. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying earlier, is that they're redefining the lockdown, basically. You know, they're just nitpicking, choosing whatever. It's like they just spin a wheel and like, okay, we're gonna call this virus alert level 3. Let's spin a wheel and see which regulation we're gonna have today. That's pretty much what it is. There's no, yeah. So interesting here, we have someone saying the cigarette ban is in effect. Mikhail confirmed it from his reliable source. Well, we'll see. I hope that is wrong. Yeah, Sideliner, I explained earlier that the appeal, because there's an appeal process, because it's being appealed, the moment that the government said we want to appeal the case, the judgment so the judgment might be, the judgment is suspended. The moment that they said we're appealing this. The judgment was suspended, which means they could implement the cigarette ban at any time. Those are what my sources say. Thank you very much, Bradley, for putting that in. Good evening from Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Thank you, Magda, so much for joining me from Port Elizabeth. I'm surprised you're not with Ronaldo. He's from Port Elizabeth. And I'm so happy that you're supporting me instead of him because Ronaldo gets all the fame. I'm kidding. I like Ronaldo. As you can see, I'm wearing one of his things. But thank you so much for being here. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, go now. Tell people, join the Joe Emilio stream. I'm going to put it again here. Join the Joe Emilio stream. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Let's see. And just like that, it flies up. Yeah. Good times. Yeah, Yanni, I'm surprised that you're not a mod on the SABC channel. Perhaps you should speak to them. Make it happen. Just saying. Oh, here we go. Something's happening. Of course, there's an ad.
Looking for the best music for your videos?
Sorry, guys.
Then you should check out our list. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you...
Just give it a moment.
Every one of us, the very best for 2021. We enter this new year with a great deal of hope. Type of hope that we trust will restore our
That's not me.
Nation to good health, that the new year will bring our people relief as well as comfort, and that the lives of our people and their livelihoods will be rebuilt. But if we are to realize our aspirations for this year, we must do a number of things. We must unite to overcome the grave and persistent deepening crisis that our country faces and our people face, which is the coronavirus pandemic. But the pandemic in our country is now at its most devastating. The number of new infections, the number of hospital admissions, and the deaths that continue to take place become far higher than it has ever been since the first case was recorded in our country in March of 2020. Since New Year's Day, we have recorded nearly 190,000 new coronavirus infections. The country has recorded more than 4,600 COVID-19 deaths so far this year. Since the start of the pandemic, South Africa has recorded a cumulative number of more than 1.2 million COVID cases. We have recorded more than 33,000 deaths, and more than 148,000 people have been admitted to our hospitals. As a proportion of the population, the province with the highest average number of cases over the last 7 days is KwaZulu-Natal, followed by the Western Cape, Gauteng, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga. New infections in KwaZulu-Natal and the Western Cape have grown fast and have now far exceeded the peak that we experienced during the first wave. Infections in Gauteng are growing exponentially and are expected to increase much further as more residents of Gauteng who had traveled to many parts of our country return following their festive break. However, we are encouraged that the rate of new infections in the Eastern Cape, while still high, is lower now than they were in the middle of December. In several parts of the country, hospital admissions are also much higher now than during the first wave. There are currently over 15,000 people with COVID-19 in hospitals nationally, placing a considerable strain on health facilities, personnel, and the equipment. Around a third of the COVID-19 patients in our hospitals are on oxygen. Therefore, there is an intensive focus in our health facilities on increasing oxygen supply and activating filled hospital beds once again. Additional posts that were vacant are being filled once again, and the personal protective equipment stocks are being jointly monitored with the Office of the Health Standards Compliance. Research that has been undertaken by our scientists has shown that the massive increase in infections is largely driven by a variant of the coronavirus known, as we've been told by our scientists, as 501v2. This variant was first identified in South Africa in November of last year. We do know that this new variant of the virus tends to spread much faster than the earlier variants. This explains the fact that many more people have become infected in a far shorter space of time. Emerging information suggests that this new variant does not cause more severe illness than the original variants, but it does put more pressure on the health system because the cases increase so rapidly and the hospitals get full much more quickly. But one of the most important things that we know about the new variant is that we can prevent transmission using exactly the same measures that we've been using to protect ourselves and others along the time that we have experienced this virus. We must remember that this virus is carried through the air. We must therefore avoid what has been described as the 3 C's: closed spaces, places, and close contact with others.
Oh, shit.
Because the new variant can infect people more easily, it is vital that we each become even more cautious about the places that we go to and the number of people that we interact with. We must not let up on any of the health protocols that we've been talking about since March of last year and the health protocols that we've been observing. If anything, the new variant means that we must be much more diligent and vigilant, more compliant and more consistent in following the necessary health guidelines. Fellow South Africans, despite the severity of the pandemic in our country, we must never see ourselves as being totally helpless. As we have shown over the last 10 months, our actions do have an impact on the direction and the extent of the disease. We have shown that when we are able to work together, we can make a difference. As we begin this new year, let us therefore set out a clear path of working together and of recovery. Let us agree that on those issues that we must do and will do to overcome this pandemic during the course of 2021. Firstly, we must do everything possible to slow the rate of transmission, and as we have done before, to flatten the curve of the infection. Secondly, we will undertake to defeat this virus a massive program of vaccination so that we can achieve immunity across our population and thereby slow the spread of the virus. If we focus on these two overriding tasks, if we act with both as well as purpose, we will be able to prevent more infections, we will be able to save more lives, to rebuild our economy, and ultimately overcome the disease. On the first task, to slow the rate of transmission, we have all the tools that we need that we've been talking about for the past few months. We know what we need to do as individuals, as families, as companies, and as communities. I am greatly encouraged by how people have responded to the call to wear masks whenever we are in public. As we know, this is one of the best ways to prevent transmission of the virus. I wish to thank all South Africans who now wear masks without fail. As I moved around and looked around, I found that
because
many
you
of those
put us in
people
jail or fine us, you
that I
dumb
met
shit.
and encountered
That's why
were
people are wearing
masks. And I want to encourage all of us to continue doing
it.
just
Nobody wears it
that.
because
Now,
Lord, you're
more
full
than
of cock.
ever, we must each make a deliberate
You
decision
mandate it, and then you say,
to
"Oh, thank you for wearing
avoid
it."
any unnecessary contact with other people. I would like to take a moment to specifically address the issue of funerals, which have consistently been identified time and time again as so-called super spreader events or super spreader moments. Providing a fitting send-off for a departed loved one is deeply ingrained in all of us. It is part of our culture. There are certain rituals that we perform in line with our respective cultures and traditions, not just at the funeral itself, but also many days before the funeral. But these are all things we simply cannot continue doing. We are in the grip of a deadly pandemic, and all those activities that would normally take place are just increasing our exposure to risk for ourselves and for the bereaved family and for our own families at home. Many people keep repeating and reporting that many of those who are now passing away were infected at funerals. Let us pay heed to this. There will be a time when we can go to the home of the deceased to pay our respects and to sympathize properly with our neighbors, our friends, and our relatives. Funerals have become a death trap for many of our people.
Well, that's ironic.
But for now, I think it is best
Excuse the
to
pun.
stay safer and to stay at home, unless it is absolutely necessary that you should be at the funeral. On the 28th of December last year, we announced that South Africa was being placed on adjusted level 3 to contain the rapid rise in the infections that we've all become aware of. We also announced that several areas in the Eastern Cape, Western Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, Limpopo, and the Northwest were declared as hotspot areas. We have now had an opportunity to review the measures that were put in place as part of the adjusted level 3 in light of the current state of the pandemic. We have also held a number of consultations with religious leaders, community-based organizations, business, labor, and representatives of the provinces and the local government, as well as our traditional leaders, and on the impact of the measures. Based on the recommendations of the National Coronavirus Command Council, Cabinet has decided to maintain the country on adjusted level 3.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
Most of the measures that were announced on the 28th of December 2020 will remain in place. Given the risk of widespread transmission, most indoor and outdoor will not be permitted. This includes social gatherings, religious gatherings, political events, traditional council meetings, and gatherings at sports grounds. As before, this does not include funerals and other limited exceptions as detailed in the regulations, such as going to restaurants, museums, and gyms. Funerals may not be attended by more than 50 people, and there needs to be social distancing, hand washing, and mask wearing at funerals. The hours of curfew will now start at 9 p.m. and end earlier at 5 a.m.
Oh, wow. 1 hour earlier. Thank you.
It remains compulsory for all of us, every person in our country, to wear a mask in a public space.
Yeah.
The sale of alcohol from retail outlets and the on-site consumption of alcohol is still not permitted. Health services in several parts of the country reported that the prohibition of alcohol sales had significantly reduced the number of trauma cases seen in our hospitals over the New Year period. I must mention this one. Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital sent out a post on their Facebook showing a photograph of their trauma ward on New Year's Eve. That trauma ward was empty for the very first time since Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital was established. This goes to show and to prove that alcohol does result in behavior that causes trauma. It is vital
But I thought the
that
cases
we
were
continue
insane.
to protect our health services at this crucial time.
That makes
All
no sense.
beaches, dams, lakes, rivers, public parks, lagoons, and public swimming pools in hotspot areas will be closed to the public. As before, botanical gardens, national parks, and other parks where access control measures and entry limitations are already in place may remain open to the public. One of the challenges that we have as the festive season draws to a close is the huge congestion at many of our land border posts. This has exposed many people to infection as they wait to be processed, and it has been difficult to ensure that the health requirements for entry into South Africa are met, with many people arriving without proof of COVID-19 tests. To reduce congestion and the high risk of transmission, Cabinet has decided that the 20 land ports of entry that are currently open will be closed until the 15th of February for general entry and departure. These include the 6 busiest border posts, which are Beitbridge, Lebombo, Maseru Bridge, Oshhoek, Vicksburg, and Kopfontein. People will, however, still be allowed to enter or depart the country for the following purposes: for the transportation of fuel, cargo, and goods, emergency medical attention for a life-threatening condition, the return of South African nationals or permanent residents or persons with other valid visas, diplomats, the departure of foreign nationals, daily commuters from neighboring countries who attend school in South Africa. These measures we had implemented right at the beginning when we had the earlier lockdown.
Oh, earlier, not
The full
harsh.
list of exemptions will be
Say harsh.
contained in the regulations. It is necessary that we keep the alert level in place until we have passed the peak of new infections and we are certain that the rate of transmission has fallen enough to allow us to safely ease the current restrictions. And I wish to express my appreciation to the religious leaders of our country and the religious community as a whole. In particular, for the support and the understanding that they have demonstrated throughout this pandemic. Not only have faith-based organizations had to limit or to adjust the nature of worship or their various other activities, they have also provided counseling, they've provided support, they've also taken up quite efficiently feeding schemes and other social services to communities. And we commend them for this. At a time when people need both material and spiritual comfort, it is indeed unfortunate that the restrictions on religious and other gatherings have to remain in place for the moment. Research has identified several risks that arise from religious services and other gatherings. These include the risk associated with enclosed spaces, large groups, close proximity to others, staying for long times in one place, and loud talking as well as singing. We will continue our discussions with our religious leaders on how best to safely meet the desire of many of our people to worship in congregation while working together to preserve life. We have communicated this to our religious leaders and we will be having further discussions with them. As schools and other educational institutions prepare to begin the new academic year, there is understandably concern about whether this is advisable in the midst of a second wave of infections. The National Coronavirus Command Council is dealing with this matter, and we will provide guidance on this matter in the coming days. As the country returns to work after the festive break, it is essential that all places of work ensure that they continue to have safety protocols in place, and they must ensure that these are vigorously adhered to.
Okay, this is a big nothing
Our
burger.
second task, as we chart our path to recovery, is to achieve immunity across our population through a massive program of vaccination. The development of several effective vaccines is the most significant and most promising advance since the onset of the global pandemic. We've always said that an effective vaccine will in the end be a game changer against our fight to COVID-19. Vaccines offer to the peoples of the world a means to control the coronavirus pandemic. A person who is vaccinated has a much reduced chance of becoming ill and dying from COVID-19. When enough people are vaccinated, we will reach what is known as herd immunity, or what I prefer to call population immunity. This is when enough of the population is immune to the virus to provide indirect protection to those who aren't immune, bringing the spread of the virus much more under control. While the actual level needed for herd or population immunity is not known, our scientists estimate that we will likely reach this immunity once around 67% of our population is immune. This amounts to around 40 million people in South Africa. We have put in place a comprehensive vaccination strategy to reach all parts of the country, and we continue to work on this strategy, ensuring that it will be effective. This will be the largest and most complex logistical undertaking in our country's history. It will be far more extensive than our HIV treatment program or even our national, provincial, as well as local government elections in terms of the number of people who have to be reached within a set period or space of time.
Oh boy,
they're going to fuck it up. It will require the active involvement of all spheres of government, all sectors of our society, and all citizens and residents of our country. Our strategy has several parts to it. The first part of our strategy is to acquire enough vaccine doses to reach this population or herd immunity. We are in the process of procuring vaccines through 3 channels.
Say China. Say China.
The first one is through the World Health Organization's
China or Russia
facility, which we've spoken about quite often. The second one is the African Union's vaccine initiative. And the third one is the direct engagements that we're having with vaccine manufacturers or developers.
Who are in China and Russia.
As I've reported before, South Africa is part of the global vaccine COVAX facility, in which countries have pooled their resources to support the development of vaccines with a view to ensure that all countries receive an equitable supply of effective vaccines. We will receive vaccine doses for around 10% of our population through the COVAX facility. As the chair of the African Union, we initiated the establishment of an African vaccine acquisition task team. Having developed a clear strategy on vaccines, we realized that what we now needed was to go and acquire the vaccines.
What?
These will be purchased in bulk, and African countries will be able to order vaccine doses from the pool that we've created at the African Union level. It is estimated that Africa as a whole will need 1.5 billion doses to immunize the target of 60% of the population of our continent. Through intensive engagement with vaccine manufacturers and developers, the task team has done tremendous work to secure vaccine doses for countries on the continent. As I said before, our own Minister of Health, Dr. Zwelini Mkhize, serves on this task team that we established. The South African government has also been engaging directly with several vaccine manufacturers for the past 6 months. Given the massive global demand for vaccines and the vastly greater purchasing power of wealthier countries, we're exploring all avenues to get as many vaccine doses as soon as possible
Maybe if you
for South
didn't
Africans.
loot the country the
While
past
there are
26
several
years,
promising negotiations with
could
a
also
number
afford
of different manufacturers that still need to be concluded, we have to date secured 20 million doses to be delivered mainly in the course of the year and substantial amount of it in the first half of the year. We will make further announcement
again, not
as
giving
we
an
conclude
exact
our
time.
negotiations with these vaccine developers and manufacturers. We are in daily and constant negotiations and contact with all these manufacturers.
From China.
The second part of our strategy is to identify the priority groups that need to be vaccinated as we receive vaccine doses throughout the year. In phase 1, with the first batch of vaccines, we will prioritize around 1.2 million frontline health workers. In phase 2, when more vaccines arrive, we will prioritize essential workers such as teachers, the police, municipal workers, and other frontline personnel. We will also prioritize people in institutions such as old age homes, shelters, prisons, people over 60 years of age, and adults with comorbidities. The total number we plan to reach in this phase is around 16 million people. In phase 3, with increased supplies of these vaccines, we will then vaccinate the remaining adult population of approximately 22 million people.
Probably.
We will then have reached around 40 million South Africans, which is considered to be appropriate for population immunity. The third part of our strategy is to distribute the vaccines throughout the country and to administer them to those who have been identified to receive them in the various phases that I spoke about. We have established a national coordinating committee which brings together key government departments, but it also brings together key stakeholders in the body politic of our country, which is business, which is labor, which is community-based organizations, to oversee the implementation of our national strategy. We will administer vaccinations through hospitals, through clinics, outreach services, and other mobile clinics and private settings such as doctors' offices, pharmacies, and workplaces as well. We've had several engagements with stakeholders in recent weeks to ensure a coordinated and an inclusive vaccination campaign. An inclusive partnership has been formed between government, medical aid schemes, and the private sector to support the acquisition, the funding, and distribution of vaccines. We see a vital role for organized labor, traditional leaders, and other religious communities in the dissemination of accurate information on vaccines, in ensuring optimal participation in the vaccine program. We welcome the contributions made by civil society, by our academics and others towards the development of an effective national strategy, even when such contributions have been critical of government. We are integrating the full resources and the capacity of our country into a single effort directed at making vaccines available. This collaboration, which is among the most significant of its kind in our history, is essential as we work to gather in solidarity to win the war against COVID-19. There are still some in our country who are skeptical,
Yeah.
and many of them are very vocal
Yep.
about vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
And there is much disinformation and conspiracy theories that are being spread around
Yeah.
about COVID-19 vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
Yet vaccines have been used to eradicate diseases such as smallpox and polio.
Mm-hmm.
Our children get vaccinated routinely
Yeah.
against many diseases such as mumps,
You're reading the
measles,
same scripts
rubella,
that
and
everybody's saying.
travelers are often vaccinated against
All those
diseases
vaccines
like yellow fever.
developed over
I was
years.
vaccinated against yellow fever just a few months ago.
Oh, good for you.
And many South Africans, in one form, shape, or other, have been vaccinated before.
Yeah.
Every vaccine that will be used in our program will have to be approved by the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority,
Yeah.
which always applies stringent scientific standards to ensure the safety and efficacy of any drug or treatment that is utilized by the public in our country. South Africa's vaccine strategy
How's HIV doing? How's
is
TB
well
doing?
underway. Understandably, we all want to know when the vaccines will be arriving.
Yeah.
Everybody asks that question, and vaccines to arrive yesterday. As we work to secure the supply of sufficient doses in the midst of huge global demand, we
You're
are
addressing
doing
that because you're being sued
and
right
will
now.
continue to do everything that's possible to ensure that the process is both transparent and it's handled most effectively and efficiently, and that information
haven't told us anything.
is made available to South Africans.
Okay.
I call on all South Africans to be part of the monumental undertaking to roll out the coronavirus vaccine. Although it will be difficult, it will be complex, and it will at times be very frustrating, it is vital that we do this together for the sake of our country and for the well-being of all the people in our country. Now, as we travel together along the path to overcome the coronavirus pandemic, we must never lose sight of the need to act urgently and decisively to end the violence that men perpetrate against the women and the children of our country. Gender-based violence and femicide is our country's second pandemic. Plans to implement social and behavioral change interventions are taking shape. For example, government has been collaborating with several civil society formations to sensitize a number of stakeholders in our country, for instance, taxi drivers and taxi marshals, on gender awareness, on gender norms, the issue of toxic masculinity and gender-based violence and femicide, in an effort to change the behavior of the men of South Africa. In another example, faith-based organizations have initiated a campaign to sensitize religious leaders on patriarchy, gender-based violence, and the church. This includes a program where leaders are trained to accompany survivors of gender-based violence from the time they report until they are referred for further service. Faith activists are also trained to support women through the various court processes. Efforts are underway to support women's economic empowerment, especially during this COVID-19 period. This includes training for business women to enable them to access public procurement opportunities.
Fix your education system.
To end harassment at work, South Africa is in the process of ratifying the International Labour Organization Convention 190, which establishes a global standard for the protection of women and other vulnerable groups in the world of work. Nearly half a year has passed since I spoke to you about the coronavirus storm that was sweeping across our nation. I said then that the coronavirus storm is far fiercer and much more destructive than any that we have known before. We are now in the center of that storm. We do not know how much longer it will last or how much worse it will get. But we know what we need to do to weather this storm and to survive. We know what we need to do to protect ourselves and to protect those around us. We know also what we need to do as a nation, as well as a continent and as a global community to overcome the pandemic. We need to therefore act with common purpose, understanding that what we each do is important for ourselves, for our families, our communities, and our society. If we work together as we have done over these many months, if we maintain our resolve, we will realize the new year that we all so dearly hope for. We will find the peace as well as the comfort, the relief, and the good health that we all seek. We will be able to rebuild our lives and our nation. And as I say, may God continue to bless our beautiful country, as well as to protect all her people. I thank you.
Alrighty then. Okay, so for those of you who are still with me, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe before I get into my little rant that I usually do after the president speaks. So please subscribe. Also, very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, as we tend to do now on this channel after the president gives a bit of a speech, all together we're going to say Futsek ANC. So let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Futsek ANC. Sorry. Yes. Everybody cheering that on. All right. So let's talk. Herman was saying, wow, I fell asleep. Well, okay. Good news. No cigarette ban. So there was a bit of a worry. There was a bit of a scare. Those of you that stocked up, you didn't lose anything. You got the stuff. Good. Holy crap. That was you know, a bit of a worry there, but it's okay. So I said possible cigarette ban for those of you who on Facebook or Twitter saw it. So yeah, at least that's out. At least for now, we can still smoke. However, that doesn't change the situation that the ruling has been suspended and can change, or the ANC can implement the cigarette ban at any point. So maybe they're keeping it for a rainy day. Who knows? We'll keep a close eye on that story. All right. Yes, sideliner opinions. You were right. A lot of smoke, little fire. I agree. It was more just a, warning. A lot about the vaccine, which I'm not going to get into because I don't think YouTube would appreciate it, and that's the only thing that's keeping me from saying anything at the moment. Having said that, though, what I will say is this. Cyril, I talk cuck for a living, guys. Like, I'm a stand-up comedian. I get on stage, I talk cuck. It's funny cuck, but it's cuck nonetheless, right? Cyril, you are by far the biggest pro I have ever seen. Not because you're funny, and well, you do have some funny moments, but because you speak the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life. How can you and the media complain that the hospitals are overrun? They can't keep up. It's too much. The cases are increasing. It's getting crazy. Our beds are full and we have this problem. And then you say, look, the hospitals are empty because we banned alcohol. But wasn't there a problem with over-indated cases of COVID patients? Shouldn't those patients still be in? And if the country is as bad as you say it is, shouldn't those people that couldn't get into the hospital now be able to get into the hospital so that they can get better? It's very weird to me that you want to scream, oh my word, the country is in deep crap because, cases are increasing, people are increasing, more and more people are getting sick. But yet for a certain amount of time, there was nobody. And apparently, we're in the middle of the storm. So technically, if what you say is true, there should be people in the hospital. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't across the board. I don't know. I haven't seen any footages of people I don't know. But the fact that you want to scream and say like, oh no, the cases are increasing. We have millions of people infected. We need to ban the alcohol so that the hospitals have more space for the COVID patients. And then say, look, our hospitals are empty because we banned alcohol. You kind of showed your hand, and some people believe this. Like, hello, we're in the middle of a pandemic, people. There's supposed to be people in the hospital. If we're as bad as they say it is, if you ban alcohol, the COVID patients replace the trauma or the incidences with alcohol. Does nobody understand that? Does nobody see that? Does nobody see the flaw in the logic here? Am I going crazy? No, okay. Dora's saying contradicting themselves. Thank you. So I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who can see that. No, I didn't see that. So yeah, I don't know. That for me is just weird. Like that you can just blatantly put it out there and say that, and then it became a campaign about the vaccine. Like I said, I'm not going to go too much into that, but all I know is that he repeated a script that basically, if you watch the news, and when I say the news, I mean mainstream media, if you watch any politician other than our politicians here in South Africa, it is pretty much word for word the same script. Oh no, don't, there's conspiracy theories, misinformation, vaccines are fun. I mean, like, you've had vaccines when you were a kid, right? You've had vaccines before. Yeah, you've had vaccines. I'm going to let you guys do your own research with vaccines. All right. I got to admit, I'm impartial at this stage. I'll be honest. I have how do I say this? I have little faith in the government at all. Like, this whole talk about we're going to implement this and we're going to roll out like this, and this is going to happen in this stage and that stage, and these people are going to get. I think they're going to mess it up. I think they're going to mess it up royally. I think it's going to be corruption is going to run rampant. That's number one. Number two, they're gonna mess it up. They're gonna mess it up. They're gonna be like, oh, we lost 1 million vaccines here, or oh, we dropped 1 million vaccines there, and oh, yeah, no, we'll do it another way. They're going to mess up. That's why he's not mentioning dates. That's why he's not saying like, oh, at the end of February or at the end of March or whatever. He's saying, oh, at the beginning of the year, maybe, I don't know, we'll see, and only 10% of the people will get. Let me tell you something. The South African government doesn't know how many people are in South Africa, and I'll tell you why. There's a lot of people that cross the border illegally, and are working in South Africa illegally, technically, because they don't have a South African passport. They don't have a South African ID. This is a fact. So there is, when he says that he said 40 million is approximately 60%. So I've heard that there's about 59 million people in South Africa. I'm willing to bet it's like 65 million, maybe 70 even. The way the rollout, he wants to do the rollout, I don't think is efficient. I kind of agree and I don't agree. It's weird. I like, for example, when he said, oh, we're going to give it to the prisons first. I was like, give it to the criminals first. But then again, I was like, you know what? Actually, if you believe the science, then that kind of makes sense. Because they're in enclosed spaces and stuff like that. Maybe, I don't know. Or because they're criminals, they can be guinea pigs. But yeah, like, oh man, I would really love to have an inmate on this channel to tell me if he would take or she would take the vaccine. Like, I would really like to interview maybe a few convicts or inmates or people in jail and tell me like, hey, you're gonna get the vaccine. How do you feel about that? I want to know. I'm sure they're not fans of the government. I mean, they're criminals. They can't be. I don't know. Do criminals vote? I don't know. But yeah. So, man. Yeah. So Joanna here is saying she'll send me some photos. Perhaps they should first fix the roofs of the hospitals. Interesting. I see there are some photos here. Oh crap. Yeah. Okay, well there are, yeah, okay. See, like, this is the other thing, guys. And I just want to say this. When they say that hospitals are crowded, I'm not disputing that might be a possibility, depending on the area, because each area is different. There's different laws, there's different rules. So when a hospital is empty and they boast about it, that concerns me, because it's like, but across the board, you're saying that South Africa is in trouble, but yet there's hospitals that are empty and there's other hospitals that can't keep up. Why can't you send those people that can't go into that hospital to the other hospital? I mean, they've done that in other countries, but they don't do it here. And then you got transport issues and you got all these other issues. You know, it's like the same bull crap that he said about GBV. And I know that some people are going to get really upset now because I'm now talking about GBV, and I think that everything he said about GBV is absolute bullshit. And I'll tell you why. All you have to do is fix your freaking infrastructure, fix the police system, fix the education system, fix your poverty problem, and you will eradicate these kind of things. If you have a proper running police system and people that abide by the law, you don't have to teach them. I was raised, respect women. My parents raised me that way, because we grew up in kind of a normal society. Now I get it. There's a very big poverty problem here in South Africa, but I think that there's a lot that the ANC doesn't tell the public. How there are cultural differences, how there are certain things. I mean, we see it on social media, these crazy videos sometimes that you see of how some of these people, they just, I mean, there was a video the other day on Twitter where this woman was dancing on stage. Now, she was dancing a bit provocatively, if I can say that. And her boyfriend goes on stage and literally beats the holy crap out of her in front of everyone. This is like a huge like event. I don't know if it was recently. I don't know if the event was now. I don't know when the event took place. But somewhere along this guy's life, he thought it was okay to beat a woman, probably because he grew up in a very broken home. Why did he possibly grow up in a broken home? Is because the government doesn't care about the poor. Government doesn't do anything to enrich the poor. There's no proper education, there's no proper infrastructure, and the police are corrupt, and there's drug dealings and there's shootings. That is the problem. Start there. You can have your charities donate. You can have your little, we're gonna get a charity and some activists to help these people. But it's not enough. It's never going to be enough. You cannot run a country this way. This is absolute garbage. Oh man, sorry. All right, so apparently I have Joe ranting on one earphone and Chris White ranting on my laptop on my other ear. Yes, he's going to do it in 20 what do you say, land areas. Yeah, sorry. You talked about GBV and like all this other stuff, and it's like, just do something about it. Don't tell me about what you're going to do. Don't tell me about all this stuff. Just do it. And the fact of the matter is, you, the ANC, have let this country rot from within. That is the truth, and you don't know how to fix it. So I hope that people really wake up. And again, go check out that video that I made about the ANC exposed. Go check it out. And I hope that people wake up and see what is actually happening in South Africa, because this can't continue. I honestly do not have much faith for South Africa if the ANC are in power after 2024. I really don't. I'm going to lose a lot of hope, because we need change and we need it now. That's all I'm going to say on that. Very quickly, I will recap. Thank you, Yanni, for sending me these pictures. So basically, just to recap, ladies and gentlemen, what is happening right now. 9 curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. We've been given an extra hour to wake up. Apart from permitted workers, no one is permitted to be outside during curfew. Pretty standard. Non-essential establishments, including restaurants and bars, must close at 8 p.m. That is early. That is really early. So, wow. Okay. So, yeah. Sorry for you guys. Wearing a coat is mandatory. That also pissed me off. Like, oh, I'm seeing a lot of people wearing masks now. This makes me so proud. Because you mandated it, you idiot. If you tell people you have to wear a mask, otherwise you're going to get fined or go to jail, people are going to wear it. Nobody wants to get a criminal record for not wearing a mask. It's stupid. So everybody sorry. Cyril pisses me off. Alcohol sales from retail outlets will not be permitted, and you are not allowed to do any on-site consumption of alcohol will also not be permitted. No consumption of alcohol in public spaces, including parks and beaches. Beaches are off limits, so I don't know why you had to say that. Most indoor and outdoor gatherings will be prohibited. This includes social gatherings, religious gatherings, political events, traditional council meetings, and gatherings at sports grounds. So I wonder if the EFF are still going to protest and do their little thing. We'll see what happens with that. But again, Cyril never, ever, ever, ever condemns them. Funerals may not be attended by more than 50 people. There needs to be social distancing, mask wearing. Where there are exceptions, such as restaurants, museums, and gyms, no more than 50 people are permitted indoors and no more than 100 people outdoors. and may not exceed more than 50% of the venue capacity. That part doesn't really make sense because apparently, where was it? Non-essential establishments, including restaurants and bars, must. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. So basically, you must be. 50, so we're back to that. Isn't that a level 3? Yeah, that is a level 3. That's still level 3. That's fine. Okay, limited services will be offered at the 20 border posts that are currently open. People will be allowed to limited circumstances. So basically, they're just they're dealing with the borders. Obviously, I don't know how well. Don't forget no loud talking. Yeah. Yes, sorry, I forgot. For all the woke folk out there, mandate and woman date. I did not mean to discriminate. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that's for the woke people, by the way. All right, so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to go on any longer. I think I've said everything I need to say. No, Dora, nothing these idiots say makes sense. Not at all. Yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching with me. I hope you enjoyed our guests that joined us. I actually didn't use everyone that I had prepared because I was trying to keep it relevant to the speech. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, please subscribe if you're new to my channel. Don't forget, go check out ANC Exposed. Please, link in the description below. Share it far and wide. Also, tomorrow evening, discussing WhatsApp policy. What is it? How does it work? Should we be alarmed? Should we be ditching WhatsApp? Are there alternatives that are better than WhatsApp? We will find out. And I'll be discussing that with Tech Wiz Yanni tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, Putsek ANC, okay? Just wanted to put that again because I just wanted to do that. Please consider becoming a member if you want to support me. If you don't want to do it through YouTube, please go into the link in the description below. Support me. It will take you to my website. You can find other ways of supporting me. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. And to everybody who gave a super chat tonight, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. I did see you. Don't forget to check me out on social media and check out rebelstoreZA.com. Get a shirt. Why not? There's some pretty cool shirts. So go check it out. We're officially open now, so we're shipping nationwide. So go check it out. Link in the description below as well. So thank you all so much once again for watching. I will see you tomorrow evening. And if I don't see you there, like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe. Stay safe. Be kind to one another. And I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.